I'm serious. I think today has been the best, third day of a summit that I think I've ever seen. Phenomenal speakers. Literally the best I've ever heard. I was mentioning to Charlie, I think that everybody keeps raising the and the speakers yesterday, on Thursday, everybody just keeps raising that bar, and people are getting better and better at delivering content, and hopefully you're getting better at absorbing it and learning it. Grab a seat and get your notes out, because we're going to tell you exactly the plan between now and the launch of ageLOC Me. We've got so many amazing things going on right now in the company, and what we're going to do today is to give you the plan. And this same plan we will repeat in San Diego next Saturday, and we'll repeat again the next Saturday on the 30th of January in Fort Lauderdale. And so if you will build a plan around these events, and we're going to show you what that will be today, then you're going to have the ability to literally multiply your team by the end of this month. That should set you on the path for really rapid growth for the rest of this year. I believe that we are set up for 2016 to see the biggest growth we've ever had. And I'm going to put some facts behind that to help you understand it. Have you figured out why you're here? I mean, why did you make the trip, You're the diehards. In the face of other events you could go to, which you'll probably attend as well, you're still here, right? Why did you come here? What is in this business for you? What do you hope to gain from this business? I mentioned on Thursday that this is my favorite time of the year because it's the new beginning. It's interesting. Brent, you need to give me the exact name of the #1 PGA Pro golfer, Jordan Spieth? Spieth? Okay, I got to get the pronunciation right. Jordan Spieth has completely changed the way people putt in professional golf, and he's done it in the last 2 years. For years and years, people would sit there and they would focus when putting on the ball and trying to strike the ball just perfect. Jordan changed it all. Do you know why? Because he focused on the goal. He would look at the hole and he would putt to the hole. Instead of focusing on his beginning destination, he focused on his objective, his final destination. And today, everybody's changing the way they're putting in professional golf, and this 22-year-old kid has changed it because he focused on the future. Some of you are here today and you're a bit brain damaged. You think, oh, I've tried, it hasn't worked for me. I've listened to those speakers on that stage, and I don't know how they did it, the way they did it, as quick as they did it. And what's happening is that you are focusing on the ball right in front of you. You're focusing on your present instead of looking at your destination. And I want you to be like Jordan Spieth, okay, or Spieth. I want you to focus on the whole. I want you to focus on the destination of where you're going in 2016. The past is the past. It is history. There's nothing you can do to change it, okay? All you can change is what's in front of you. That's it. So why waste 1 second, one bit of energy thinking about the past? What you've got to do starting today is to say it's a new day and it's a new year, and I'm focusing on the future. Okay? So I hope you do that. Got that one?
Yeah.
It's a really important distinction. Well, we've had a great, break, and here we are getting ready for this new year. And I wanted to share a couple of things with you. And it looks like I lost all my family photos, but we're just going to jump in here and go. What is an entry point, anyway? What is that? I've watched over the years, my almost 7 years in Nu Skin, seems amazing. Okay, I've watched different entry points. I've watched people get attracted to the business at different times with different entry points. To me, an entry point, if you look at it, is something to do like a new country opening. And every time we have a new country opening, there's a bunch of new people that are attracted to the business in every country that we're currently open in. And we have a lot of our Vietnamese friends with us here today who came into this business because people got excited about the opening of Vietnam, and here you are in the US of A participating in this opportunity, right? It happens all over the world. We opened Chile recently, and all of a sudden we see Chileans from all areas of the world being sponsored into the business and participating. So there's these entry points that catch people or attract people and bring them into the business, and some of these are very, very strong. Sometimes it's a product launch, and it will be something like that this year. We have youth that is going to launch in April. And that is a phenomenal product. And you've heard people talk about it a lot in the last couple of days about the effects of youth. Finally, you got a brand new story in nutrition that is going to blow the scanner score up, right? What does the scanner score prove? It proves that the product is getting to the tissue. It proves that youth is getting right into the cells of everybody's bodies. It's guaranteed to work, or your money back. I mean, how can you not like that story, right? And we've got the ability to create and build using that story all the way up to the launch of ageLOC Me. And that's the third part here. It's a category builder, if you want to throw that back up. So sometimes there's a product that is so unique and so different, it's never been seen before, that it's a whole new category. And that's what the biophotonic scanner was. The biophotonic scanner and the facial spa, both, have been category builders. And the volume that we have done as a company with the exclusive use of those products where nobody else has them is not small potatoes. We're talking billions of dollars in revenue because of these types of unique category building devices. And that's what we're about to experience this year with ageLOC Me. And then we'll talk about that more in just a second. About a year ago, I put this analogy in front of everybody in the company, and we talked a little bit about Keurig, Green Mountain Coffee, and about this unique business model they had where they had this brewer that they could sell for a reasonable price, and people would buy this so they could have premium coffee brewed in their own house every morning. And so you can see on this little poster card here some of the results, right? 45 million brewers sold, machines sold, right? You're talking billions, 30 billion K-Cups, you know, the disposable K-Cups that went into this machine. And this machine has been a huge hit. And the consumptive nature of the K-Cups on a daily and a monthly basis has created billions of dollars of revenue. So this business has been successful enough that, as was mentioned on Thursday, it just got bought for almost $14 billion last month. So this was the Bloomberg business article announcing the merger and the buyout, you know, of this particular amazing brand. How did they create $14 billion of value? They targeted a spot in the home where they thought we can get a whole bunch of these machines in people's houses, in their kitchens, and we can get them to buy these disposable K-Cups. It's the Gillette model, right? It's the razor and the blade. You almost give away the razor so you can sell the blades to them for the rest of their lives, right? It's almost like your cell phone. Your cell phone's the same thing. They want to get you on that contract so that, you know, you'll take that device, the device they'll almost give to you so you can consume the minutes. And they'll get you paying them every month for the cell phone usage, you know, for the rest of your life, right? So there's a big battle for consumers and for the mind share of consumers. And there's been a big battle going on inside of people's houses. You know, people went after the kitchen. They got to capture the kitchen and get the recurring revenue out of the kitchen. And Keurig did that with their brewer. And other people have done the same kind of thing, right? Same thing in your home office or your den, right? So the printer companies have realized, hey, if we can slip a printer in everybody's house and we can sell them the ink that goes with the printer, right? This has been the HP business model now for, you know, a couple of decades. And all of a sudden today you have people selling printers almost at cost so that they can sell you the ink. I got an email from one of our team of leads just last week who said he was in Office Depot and he spoke to the manager, the store manager, and the manager admitted that 39% of their sales are office ink cartridges for printers in Office Depot. And I think you heard when I presented this a year ago that 40% of the profits of Hewlett-Packard Corporation, 40% of the profits come from ink. And it's just this massive, huge business that is super, super valuable. Well, all of a sudden now we have the office taken over by the printer manufacturer, we got the kitchen taken over by the coffee manufacturers. What's the one room in the house nobody's taken over yet?
Bathroom.
It's the bathroom. And we're gonna take it over, okay? That's what's gonna happen. You know, you think back about the scanner, and we ask, you know, have we been able to do this before? And the scanner business has been phenomenal. I don't know if you're aware that Nu Skin has done billions and billions and billions of business because of the biophotonic scanner. Because we're the only people in the world that can prove whether your supplements actually get to your tissue or not. Mm-hmm. We're the only ones still today who can do that, 20+ million scans globally. I mean, a phenomenal, entry point for a lot of the leaders that are sitting right here in the front of this room. They came to this business because of that technology, and it created hundreds of team elites all over the world, right? It was an entry point. And as good as that entry point was, it's not as good as ageLOC Me. And the reason it's not as good is because not everybody can have a biophotonic scanner, okay? Not yet anyway, right? Maybe someday, but it was just too expensive in terms of the technology and the sophistication to be able to justify or having everybody even need one of these. What is so unique about ageLOC Me is that it's a device that has a consumptive nature to it with a habit that is formed, okay? It's a daily use habit. And that is something that is significantly more powerful than even what we have with the facial spa, because we don't have the exact daily use. I would argue that people who do use their facial spa on an almost daily basis are the biggest consumers of gels. And I think you would agree with that, right? And people who don't use it as consistently kind of end up putting it in the drawer, and we don't get as much ongoing recurring volume because of that. The genius of ageLOC Me is that it's morning and night. Okay, it is the first thing when you get up in your day, and it's the last thing before you go to bed, and it is completely ingrained into people's daily activities. They will form a habit with this device. And so it is super exciting to think about what's ahead of us with this particular amazing product. This is the generation 1 of this product. How many people remember the S1 scanner? Did the S2 get a lot better? Did the S3 get better still? Yeah, Nu Skin is committed to this technology. Once we take over the bathrooms in the world, we're not going to give them up. We'll continue to innovate on this particular point, just like we have with other devices that we have heretofore launched, and it will continue to get better and better, right? So it's an amazing thing to come up with this clean sheet design, just this birth of an idea that no one else had ever thought about before. And the great ideas, once you get them and they're out there, people kind of say, well, that was obvious. Why didn't I think of that, right? And it just becomes obvious that somebody's going to take over the bathroom, and it's us, okay? We've got some amazing points, talking points around ageLOC Me. I just wanted to show you a photograph I got from some people in Korea who launched ageLOC Me about 3 weeks ago. And this lady's been using it for 3 weeks. Check out the results of her face from this product. The results that we're hearing from my friends in Korea, they say the product is unbelievable. They say you can't even believe how great it is and how well it works and how potent it is. And it's potent because of a lot of reasons, right? So you want to do the run to me? Anybody want to run to me? You want to set up the track and make the run right now all the way through, till the fourth quarter of this year? Well, here's some talking points for you, okay? The first personalized smart skin device. We do gain first mover advantage here, This is what we will be known for in this particular segment of the market. We got there first, we conceived it, we dreamed it up, and we've got it. Nu Skin has spent more than $35 million over the last 5 years developing this technology, from just an idea to what we'll have today in this market when we launch this product. So I don't know of really any competitors in our industry that could fund this. Maybe Amway could fund it. They probably could. Maybe one other. But besides that, it's not happening. And none of these competitors have ever demonstrated a willingness to make this kind of R&D commitment that Nu Skin makes. And so we have them investing in new things for our business. Does it make you feel good that Nu Skin's willing to commit these kinds of funds on these types of projects so that you and I can expand our businesses? It is phenomenal. So Carla was saying on Thursday night, right? The amount of investment Nu Skin makes that we don't have to make is remarkable. 12 patents published or pending. This slows down the competition. In fact, there's a company who has a prototype device that looks strangely like ageLOC Me. And I shot the picture of this device to our legal department last week, and I got a response within 10 minutes that said, we actually have people attending a conference today where this product is going to be discussed, and we're preparing our lawsuits. Okay? So they're actually on it, and they're going to defend it, and we're going to slow them down. Okay, we're going to keep them at bay just long enough for us to make sure we capture the bathrooms of the world, right? 2,000 unique customized formulas. You heard Joe Chang talk about that on Thursday night. Over 2,000 formulas, and they will continue to refine that. Your product that will dispense to you out of this device will get better and better and better over time, more and more focused and targeted to you and how it's working on your skin. This hygienic, hands-free delivery at the moment of use is really important. We have ingredients that we can hold separate in these cartridges, and we only mix them at the time that it's absolutely ready for dispensing. Some of those things can neutralize each other if they're mixed together and sit in a jar, right? They don't have the same kind of potency or effect. And that's the effect that you gain by being able to mix it on the spot. Many of these patents are all centered around the mixing device that's inside ageLOC Me. And this is not going to be something easy for people to copy or replicate. And then finally, it enables the use of ingredients that we were not able to use before. Every product in a bottle or a jar has antimicrobials, antibacterials, and preservative systems. It has to, otherwise it becomes a petri dish as people stick their contaminated fingers in and out of this stuff. And even new skin products have had those preservative systems. That's not needed any longer. This is a complete game changer. It's a category that's brand new, where you can now take ingredients that you couldn't even consider using before, and now you can put those in a product to affect real results on people's skin and do it in this customized way. I was intrigued as Joe Chang talked about this micro layering, about how the product as it's mixed is dispensed. You could almost slice it into these unique layers, 40 different layers, so that when you apply it to your skin, it's actually going to be more effective. I was completely intrigued by that portion of the technology that I'd never heard anything about until just Thursday night. So, do you think we have a story to tell here?
Yes.
Holy smokes. If you can't tell this story, you better boogie right now, okay? You can take off, because this is like the best story I think we've ever had. So how do you capitalize on ageLOC Me and this pending launch that's coming up? Well, let's talk about the market for just a moment. You guys know me probably long enough that I try to figure out, what's the size, what's the market? Well, we've got 136 million households in North America. That's US and Canada as of the end of 2015. Those are really recent numbers. If we could get 1% of those households to adopt the use of ageLOC Me, and we could take over their bathroom for skincare, then we would have 1.36 million households that would be customers for our product. That's just 1% market penetration for a brand new design that no one's ever seen before, okay? All right, plan on 1.25 me's per household. Men will probably only buy this 25% of the time. You know, women, it's a slam dunk, right? They're already spending the money. They're going to get cheaper price on a monthly basis than they've been spending currently, with 20 times the effectiveness. So it's a slam dunk. If you have 1.25 me's for 1.36 million households, that's 1.7 million devices sold, okay? If you have 1.7 million at $385, and we don't know for sure what the price is going to be, but we're hopeful that ageLOC Me will fit in one of our $385 kits. And that's what it should be priced at that time, in my opinion. You're talking about $654 million in revenue just on the sale of these devices. Now, we won't have 1.7 million devices for sale on the first month, okay? But we will do that over the subsequent years as we continue to promote this device and people continue to share it with family and friends. I just want to ask you, when will you ever have an opportunity like this again in your life? You know, did anybody invite you into the party to sell laser printers and get a piece of that revenue every month when they bought their ink cartridges?
No.
Did anybody invite you to sell Keurig Green Mountain coffee brewers into everybody's houses and let you get paid on the K-Cups the rest of your life? Nobody got invited? No hands are going up? Oh yeah, they shut you out and me out. You know, none of us even had the chance to play in that marketplace. We're now creating an entirely new marketplace that is really, really significant. And I don't think anybody in this room will see a brand new category like this maybe ever again in our lifetime, okay?
Wow.
So you ask, well, can we do 1.7 million devices? You know, 1 million devices is a really enormous business, right? That's a lot of devices. Have we ever done that before? Well, between galvanic and facial spa, body spa, over 2 million devices have already been sold by new skin distributors. It's already happened, guys. We've already done 2 million devices, okay? With something that I'm going to argue is not nearly as unique and sexy as an ageLOC Me, okay? We've already done it. It's a given at this point. It's a no-brainer that we're going to sell millions upon millions of these devices. And, we'll do it all over the world like this, right? The cartridges will likely be around 150 points a month. For the consumptive cartridges, it'll be used up and exhausted every 30 days inside of an ageLOC Me. If you have 150 a month, okay, then that's 150 million per month business on a million machines. That's 150 million a month. That's 1.8 billion per year in cartridges. 1.8 billion per year in cartridges is about 800 million a year in commissions through the new skin compensation plan, just on the monthly recurring revenue. That is substantial. That is a big, big deal. So here's the rules to play the game. You have to be an executive by October 1st, 2016. And today, most of you here may be executives already. If you're not, then you got to make that happen, and you want to make it happen quick. This is nothing more than a game of creating as many executives as possible before the launch. Only executives will receive codes to order ageLOC Me. So once we get ready for the actual launch of this particular device, which will happen in the fourth quarter of this year, okay? October or maybe early November, we'll see which one they pick. All right, you want to be ready for that. So what does that mean? It means you got 10 months from today. 10 months that you can count on before this thing actually hits. And what you want to do is be ready to capture the largest share possible of the ageLOC Me devices that will be able to be ordered and deployed into the market. The company has told us that each code will purchase one ageLOC Me. So it's a matter of how many codes can you get, right? The goal would be to get as many executives as possible before October 1st of 2016 of this year. You got 10 months. Actually, you got 9.5 before that date, right there. Maybe 10 till the launch. Okay? So that's the cutoff. By October 1st, if they're not executives, they're probably not going to get codes. And if you don't have people that get codes, then you're not going to participate at the same level that you could have if you got serious about it. Here you've got the greatest launch of a brand new design product that will go over and take over a room of the house nobody's ever taken over before. All right, it's one that's up for grabs. And you don't have time to mess around. You do not want to dilly-dally or waste any efforts on this, right? You've got to make sure you have a plan. So let's say you've got 10 executives who get 10 codes each. That'd be 100 codes, right? If you have 100 ageLOC Me devices at 385 CSV, 38,500 CSV, 5%, you're going to get about a $2,000 commission. If you're just an executive and you get 10 codes and you place it. That would be the month of the LTO. That would just be your ageLOC Me money. You've still got other money from other products and other consumption and so forth, but it's just a nice little $2,000 bonus, right? So if you have 100 ageLOC Me's out there at 150 a month, the monthly revenue is $15,000. Anybody want to have a $15,000 circle group volume? Okay, 5% of that would be $750 a month, or about $9,000 a year. If you just have one executive who gets 10 of these devices placed, people develop their daily habit, they continue to let their cartridges show up on the rewards program, and pretty nice little business, okay? All right, what if you 10 times that number of executives? What if you have 100 executives because you make a plan and you decide that that's your goal and that's what you're going to do, right? That'd be 1,000 codes that you would receive. If you have 1,000 codes in your downline at 385 CSV, that's 385,000, 5%. Your bonus that month would be an extra $19,250 the month we launch ageLOC Me. Be a nice little bonus going into the holidays next year, won't it? If that launches in October, you'll get that money on November 20th. Okay? So think about that. And then you got 1,000 ageLOC Me's that are consuming cartridges on a monthly basis. That'd be $150,000 a month in your downline. Worst case commission would be $7,500 a month, or about $90,000 a year. Just constantly coming into your bank account every single month, $7,500. That's just your ageLOC Me volume, by the way. That's not all the other products that people decide they're going to consume along with this rollout of ageLOC Me. You know, in the process of getting ready for this and creating executives, you don't have ageLOC Me to create executives. That's the point. You're trying to get executives so you can get a whole a bunch of these devices deployed in your network, right? So you're going to be sponsoring people with facial spas and with ageLOC Youth, scanning people. I mean, these are going to create other products of usage that these people came into the business with that they're going to be utilizing every month in their own house, right? So this is just your ageLOC Me money right here, okay? All right, so what kind of supply are we going to get in North America? Like, how big's the pie we're all going to run for October or November of this coming year, okay? Well, we've been able to get a $20 million commitment from Nu Skin. These devices are in short supply. People are trying to launch these all over the world. There's big demand, so we have to fight in North America to get our allocation, right? $20 million at 385 points per package means there's 50,000 ageLOC Me devices that can be deployed on the LTO, okay? There'll be more, obviously, after the LTO. But if you're trying to get your bite of this, you need to look at this today and say, okay, there's 50,000 devices available for the fourth quarter of this year. How many am I going to make sure are deployed in my downline? If I were you, I would give some thought to this. I'd look at your team, and I would devise a plan that you're going to place at least 1,000 of those. You're going to get 1/50th of the devices available at least in your team, Don't you want to have a $20,000 check on the month of the LTO? Nobody does? Yes. Okay, I mean, I hope, that's serious money, right? It's a tremendous foundation. They're going to multiply after that if you're able to get that done. So let's talk for just a moment about what happens through these cycles, because I want to lay a groundwork for you now, not through just, fourth quarter of 2016. I want to take you through the fourth quarter of 2017. Joe Chang, when he spoke on Thursday night, mentioned a little thing called Epsilon. Anybody remember him saying that?
Yes.
I've actually seen a prototype of Epsilon. This is a phenomenal product, okay? Everybody is going to want this product as well, all right? In my opinion, between the launch of Me and the eventual launch of Epsilon, we've got a 24-month run ahead of us that will be unparalleled in Nu Skin history, okay? You got to pump up. Okay, it is time for you to get really serious and stop screwing around with this business. Stop looking at your golf ball, sitting here for a putt. You got to start looking at the hole, at the goal, at the objective that you want to accomplish, okay? So stop messing around. Stop operating at 20 or 30% of your capacity, okay? Shake off your cobwebs, guys, and start operating at 90 or 100%. Because you know you can do it, okay? Erase all the games off your stupid phone, okay? Get rid of all your video games at home. Throw your TV away. Stop wasting time on Facebook and other garbage that doesn't mean anything. And start recruiting. And start telling this story to people about what's going to happen come the fourth quarter of this year. All right, we have a rhythm of cycles that happen in the Americas region. Every 6 months, we have a success trip. That's the culminating event of these cycles, right? And an LTO. We have a success trip qualification period. The last 6 months, we have maintenance for 3 months, and then we go on a success trip. We have a corporate or an OTG system event that occurs every 6 months. The next one of these events will be when? July. I hope you have your tickets purchased. If you've not bought tickets, you know what you're saying? You're not committed to it. Which means to me you're not really committed to your business. Which means to me that you're not going to get really any of ageLOC Me. Somebody else is going to grab that piece that you should have probably rightfully had, but you just weren't willing to commit to anything. If you buy tickets and you're committed, then you'll be there with your people. You don't do that, you won't be there. It's as simple as that. So that's what you got to do. And then we have a limited time offer. And typically the LTO happens the month after the end of the qualification cycle. And the effects of this are really significant. Where do we sit on this chart right now? Where are we? We're in January, right? We've already got 3 months behind us of this particular qualification cycle to go to Disney World, right? Does everybody know that? Yes. If you're not aware of that, then you're sleeping. Okay, you ought to be playing the game right now. You ought to have people on your team that are going through this 6-month cycle, and their goal is by March 31st, they will be an executive at least or higher. Okay? So we've got 3 meetings today plus 2 more weekends just in January. If you just took advantage of these 3 weekends that we're participating in right in the next 3 weeks here, this meeting and the kickoffs that are going to happen, You can have all your people in place in January with LOIs, and they will all be executives by February or March, and you will be on the success trip to Orlando, okay? Do you believe that?
Yes.
I'm telling you, that will happen. That very thing that I just stated will happen for lots of people because they're going to understand what we're saying right here. So that's the qualification. The maintenance would be those 3 months, and then, of course, we'd go on a success trip, and that trip will be to Disney World on those dates in September. All right? Okay, and then we have the event. And at the events, you get recognized, whether it's Success Summit or whether it's convention. That is where people stand up in front of their peers and are recognized for their accomplishments. And that's a big deal. You know, babies cry for it, grown men die for it. It's recognition. And so what you want to do is make sure that you get your people on stage. They've never been at work in any company or any organization where people put them on a stage and applaud them for their accomplishments. That's a big deal. So recognition is a key part of what we do. So that's a complete cycle right there. So this is the next cycle, okay? You've got a cycle right now that you can create executives in, and there's a big push for people to get there because they want to be on these trips, right? They're working with their downlines to create executives so they can be rubies and attend the trips. So you've got the cycles helping you create the executives you need to get the codes you want to roll out ageLOC Me, right? Yes. That's the whole point of it. And so the next one pops up. It starts on April 1st, and it will go all the way through September 30th of this year. And people will be pushing. The pressure will get bigger and bigger as we get closer to September 30th. More and more people pushing to become rubies so they can go on the next trip, right? So they can create more executives for the next LTO, which will be ageLOC Me. So we've got the better part of 2 cycles right now to allow you to use the pressure of these cycles to create executives so you can create more codes in your team for this launch. We maintain, and then we go on the trip. It's February of 17, and we're recognized at the events, okay? So that's the cycle. Here's what happens, guys, okay? One, people start to realize, I got to be an executive or I can't play in the LTO. You know, I get it. I understand what's about to happen here. I've got to make it. I've got to become an executive. And so the focus gets put on the right activities. Okay, it's not about just customer acquisition. What did Paige Riffle say today? I lead with the opportunity and I default them into customers because they decline the opportunity. That's what I always did. I never went out there just to get customers on a product. I pitched everybody on the opportunity because I didn't know if they were at 12 o'clock or not. I just had to talk to them and find out if they were at 12 o'clock. And if they were, bam, we're in the business and we're off to the races. If they're not ready, not for me, then we're defaulting to product. Well, at least you ought to try the product, right? So that's the focus. If your job is creating executives, and I'm telling you, if you're here today to be a team leader, a blue diamond in this company, and you want to create financial security, you have one job. That is create executives. You need to become an executive factory. That's your job. You need to utilize the system to crank out executives, okay? That's the factory. The factory is called System 7. That's the name of the factory. That's what you use to manufacture executives in your team. All right? And so you got to be an executive. When you're an executive, you have like a 3,000 point executive, you earn a new share in the leadership bonus pool. And as long as you do 3,000 a month for your first 3 months, you'll automatically get a new share in this executive leadership bonus pool. Okay? And then you get the extra executive bonus of 5%. Is there a lot of reasons people ought to be executives?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of great reasons. It's all extra money when they do this and maintain 3,000 points. Utilize these cycles, ladies and gentlemen. Let them help you push people to executive creation. Understand what the pressure is that these cycles apply in the process of executive creation and utilize it. Be talking about it. Be talking about qualifying for the trips. Be talking about which cycle people are in. Sometimes people, all they're going to do is become executive in the first 6 months. In the next 6 months, you ought to be focused with them on getting them to Ruby. So their second cycle, they're actually going to get on the trip, right? That's the progression. Does all of that help you create more executives and get more codes? Of course it does, right? And so this is what happens. You know, we're right now, today we're about 10 weeks, 11 weeks away from the end of this cycle. It's going to ramp up the activity for these next 11 weeks as people realize it's coming to the end and we're starting the new cycle, right? So both of those things happen. What happens the month after people qualify? So they finish, like, let's say they finish by March 31st. In April, they're a new executive, right? Now they get all the bonuses and the extras. What happens at the end of the September cycle? This year, at the end of the September cycle, they finish and qualify as executives because they know they can get codes to participate in ageLOC Me's launch, right? And all of a sudden, let's say the launch happens in October. That's their first executive month in this business. And all of a sudden, they distribute these devices. They get 10 codes and they place all 10 devices, okay? What's their check?
Nice.
What's their bonus check on $38,500? $1,925. I just showed that to you 4 slides ago. Okay? If they get executive status and they get 10 codes and they put those products in people's hands, okay, just the placement of the cell of those ageLOC Me's with those 10 codes is 38,000 points, right? Okay? Okay. So, excuse me. It's not 38,000 points, right? 3,800 points, okay? So what's going to happen is that people are going to end up creating a significant bonus check. Hopefully, they're also going to be in the bonus pool at the same time. So what happens is people have this record first month. They did what you told them to do. They qualify as an executive. October, they're a brand new executive. They get codes, they place these devices, and all of a sudden they're getting a check, you know? They get $1,000, they get $2,000. Their first executive check. And all of a sudden they're excited about this business, right? It's like, wow, look what happened to me. And that's what you want to have happen, all right? So make sure that people participate in this particular way. Make sure you use the cycles to help you do it. And then immediately, what we do is focus them on the next cycle, the next success trip qualification, so that they're out there creating additional executives themselves. We've talked about this in the past. How much money does Nu Skin invest in your business every time somebody in your downline goes on a success trip? About $10,000 in that distributorship. About $10,000 to send them to these amazing places and buy their airfare and provide all this amazing stuff for them while they're there. About $10,000. Don't you want Nu Skin investing $10,000 every 6 months for every couple in your downline?
Yes.
You know? Yeah, that's just promotional money that you don't have to spend in your own business, right? So here's your goal. By March 31st, in the next 11 weeks, this is what you want to do. And anybody who's here today in this room can do it, all right? Your goal is to be a new Ruby, all right? We want you to create 4 executives on your front line. How are you going to do that? You're going to duplicate with these kits, okay? With the spa and with TR90, and we're not going to probably have youth by then. I think we actually get the 380 youth kit in April, as I recall, okay? So you're just going to keep duplicating with the 380 kits we have, the buy 3, get 1 free. You just keep doing that. Your objective is to get a letter of intent the first month and hopefully finish them off the second month as an executive, okay? That's the most efficient way to do that. You're going to complete this by March 31st, 2016, which is the end of the current cycle that we're in now. And then the new Ruby, after maintenance, will attend the Orlando Success Trip, and they'll have a great experience there, all right? So then what do you do the next 6 months? Because we got 2 cycles before we actually get to the LTO for the ageLOC Me device, right? And so what we do now is we take you, and your goal is to take those 4 executives and to create 4 new Rubies, right? We're going to take people that are executives only. In this cycle, we're going to sit down with them and set a goal for Ruby status and get them on the next trip. That's our goal. That's how we utilize the cycles, the pressure of the cycles, the promotion of the cycles to manufacture executives and build our business. So that's what it would look like if you were successful in the next 6 months by October 1st in creating 4 Rubies on your front line. And all of a sudden now you've got, 5 couples going on the next success trip, you and 4 others, right? You duplicate with 380 kits, same thing, spa, TR90, and youth at that point will be selling people those particular packages. Buy 3, get 1 free. We complete this by September 30th, 2016, and then that new Ruby, all of those new Rubies attend the success trip in March of 2017. We don't know where that will be yet, but we always know it's a phenomenal place. And what matters more is the experience than the location, right? And so that's what will happen. So that's how you're going to do this, guys. So that is where we're at today. We've got this amazing youth opportunity with a scanner, being able to show people that it gets into their tissue of their bodies. We're the only people that can prove it. Powerful story. We've got the facial spa. We just keep duplicating. You know, it's the weight loss season now. You might be selling people TR90s, buy 3, get 1 free, right? It's the season. And so all of a sudden you've got all these great options to build with. You just keep building with the same duplication model that we have today. You build up for the launch of ageLOC Me. You get as many codes as possible in your downline. And then what do? You take the next 2 cycles and you multiply your executives for the launch of Epsilon, right? That's what you do. That's how you have a 24-month run that will be unprecedented. I'm serious. I have never seen the lineup the way I see it today, with these devices, with driven monthly consumption of product that can create recurring streams of revenue and income like we've really never had the ability to do. So is everybody here ready to take over the bathrooms of the world?
Yes.
All right, let's make sure we do it. Here's what would happen if you did what I just said. You got 2 cycles until ageLOC Me. You got 4 cycles until Epsilon. You got that?
Got it.
That's 2 years, right? Let's say you go on an Orlando trip all by yourself because you're serious today, you're here, you're not a Ruby, and you decide you're going to do it. You're going to get the executives by inviting people to the meetings next week and the meetings in Florida the week following that. Jeff Mack will be doing the business briefing on Friday night in San Diego. Does anybody here not believe that if you invite guests to attend for free Jeff Mack's presentation next Friday night, that Jeff Mack won't put them in this business? I got to tell you, it's going to happen, okay? So what your job is right now is to get 10 people to San Diego on Friday night. I don't care who they are. I don't care how you find them. You pick up the phone and you start calling people. And you ask people, you know, who do you know in San Diego? Who do you know that knows somebody in San Diego? I need names in San Diego, okay? Or I need names in Orange County. I need names in Southern California. I need names in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a 5-hour drive, okay? I need names in the Southwest United States. I've got to get at least 10 people into the San Diego meeting on Friday night. It's going to be a blowout, okay? There's limited seats, I promise you. It will be a blowout. So you get people there for Jeff Mack. And the same thing happens with those people, right? We're going to get them to do the same thing and take brand new people that'll start inviting for South Florida. And they'll invite people all over the whole southeast of the United States, and they'll get them to Florida the next weekend, and you'll see this wave start to happen. You go to Orlando by yourself, and then you execute the plan I just showed you. You'll have 4 people going with you. That'll be 5. You and 4 others going on the next success trip. And then you got another cycle as we lead up to Epsilon. That's the first tranche, the first cycle for Epsilon. And if all you do is double your rubies, you'll have 8 more going on the trip. And if you double 1 more cycle as we lead up to the actual launch of Epsilon, then you're going to have 16 additional rubies there. That is 29 total rubies. If you execute 4 cycles from today, the cycle we're in, the next one leading up to ageLOC Me, and then the first cycle for Epsilon, and the final launch cycle for Epsilon. That's your 24-month plan right there. If you have 29 rubies, how many executives must you have? Minimum. You have to have 116 executives in your team, right? If you end up having that many executives, 116, and they launch 10 codes for ageLOC Me or Epsilon, okay, then that's the kind of volume we're talking about, 446,000 in volume, just on the LTO of those products. The rubies would do another bunch here, another 111,000. So that's more than 500,000 in volume, a 5% commission. That's your check. Okay? That's your check by following this plan for the next 4 cycles and just executing it. Don't get distracted. Just stay focused on doing this. Okay? So here's what you do today, before tonight, before you lay your head on your pillow. Okay? What you do is you make a goal. You make an ageLOC Me goal. You decide how many ageLOC Me devices that you're going to get deployed in your downline. You might want to just decide how much money you want to make from ageLOC Me alone, and then just do the math backwards, okay, and decide how many executives you need to get the number of codes required, to get the number of Me's that you need to deploy so you can make that kind of money. And maybe that's what you ought to do. Number 2, you're going to get 10 new guests to San Diego. 10 new guests minimum, okay? Who are you going to find? Who do you know? Find people who know people who know people. Get them on the phone and say, I just found out about a brand new category of device that is going to take over the bathrooms of the world. It's patented, it's unique. I'm the only guy you know who knows about it, okay? And you need to come find out what's going to happen in this company in the next 10 months. And you get them to San Diego, okay? You know about the OTG breakout session, right? We're not going to feed you any food. We're going to feed you something much more valuable, all right? And what you want is you want people to come and understand this plan. That's what you want them to hear. And you want to hear it, in a way that's going to be a lot of confidence, a lot of force behind it, all right? You enroll these guests as distributors immediately. That's what's going to happen by next weekend. By the end of Saturday, we're going to get them Friday night to come and listen to Jeff Mack. Jeff Mack's going to be very, very compelling. You're going to follow up with them, and you're going to sponsor them. Buy 3, get 1 free. Whatever you're doing with, okay? That's what you're going to do. And then we're going to tell those people, you have to cancel your Saturday activities. You need to be there all day Saturday to see what this company is about, to see the expo, to go to the OTG breakout sessions, which are free, by the way, no charge, to show up with your protein bar and your bottle of water so you can get through that lunch, okay? And that's what you got to do. You're not going to have time to eat. What you got to do is you got to go to that breakout session with your own food. And then you're going to go to immediately at 2:30 to the afternoon sessions of those events, right? And your guests need to do it. We're going to take those San Diego guests, and we're going to take you plus them and get 10 more guests each to Friday night in Fort Lauderdale. That's what we're going to do, okay? And we're going to have them attend the entire event the next Saturday, including the OTG breakout session, all right? And lastly, how bad do you want this?
Bad.
When I was beginning my business and people say, what do I got to do? And I'd say, you know what? I'm looking for guys that are willing to walk through walls and eat nails, okay? Whatever it takes, you got to be willing to make the sacrifice to do it. And I'm just telling you, this is a brief window in time, okay? This is going to happen really fast, guys. We're at about 43 weeks until this thing hits, 44 weeks, okay? You don't have much time. You've got to make a plan, and you've got to get into action now. That's what you've got to do, all right? Thank you so much for being here today. Great luck. Have a great January, and we hope to see all your people in San Diego and Fort Lauderdale, and then we'll see you on the road after that. Thanks for being here.